The LSU Tigers, year one with Brian Kelly, got a win total of 7, -110 to the over, -120 to the under. Start the season on Sunday of Labor Day weekend against the Florida State Seminoles. The rest of the non-con includes Southern, New Mexico, and then a late season meeting with UAB. Draw from the East. The Florida game is in Gainesville this year, and they welcome Tennessee to Baton Rouge. At Auburn, at Arkansas, at Texas A&M are the road games in division play. Mississippi State and Ole Miss and Alabama all coming to Tiger Stadium. 7 wins, just like Arkansas. What's the pick?
I truly have no damn idea.
Right?
I'm going under for the purposes of the show and for my numbers, but I don't know that I could really trust my numbers because I have absolutely no idea what happened last year that was real, what happened last year that wasn't, what's going to be different this year with a whole new coaching staff, like a carousel of quarterbacks. Will they all play? Will only one play? Who's going to play? I don't know what the hell LSU is going to look like in 2022. So I'm going with an under simply because I feel like this is kind of a redshirt year for Brian Kelly, and I don't know if the fans are going to want to give him that same benefit of the doubt, but I just feel like there's going to be a lot of overhauling going into this program. And while, Bud, you talked about it when we were talking about Alabama, they probably have the best receiver core in the conference outside of Alabama, but I don't know if that's going to be enough because I don't really trust the quarterback situation. And I think defensively, they're still going to be pretty good. But offensively, I don't have a whole lot of trust in this team. So it's hard for me to look at that schedule and see who they have to play and say, okay, yeah, no, they're definitely winning that game. There are way too many coin flips and not enough that's a certain win kind of game for me. So I have to go under. But again, no damn idea.
Danny?
I'm with Tom in the no idea. Where I'm off of Tom is I'm on the over. This team is always talented. They had 9 dudes drafted last year, second behind Georgia. Like, Brian Kelly is going to inherit a roster that he's going to be solid. I think Brian Kelly is a heck of a coach. I think the resume is perfect. Questions at quarterback concern me. But in a lot of these toss-up games, I think this team's going to be more disciplined. I think they're going to be better coached across the board, coached. I got them going over. Not by a lot. Like, I don't love it. But I think 8-4 is probably where they'll
more
land.
likely than 6-6. I mean, that's where you're sitting on yeah. And like I said, if LSU wins the boot, I feel good about 8-4. If they lose the boot, they probably end up 7-5. But I mean, that I know. Talking to our resident Knowles here, the point spread is close. Do you think that like how did y'all rate that one? Because I've got that as a win for LSU, and I've got the Tennessee game as a win for LSU. So now I've gotten 5, and I'm only going to get 1 more the rest of the way. I don't see that being the case. So I'm leaning over here and understanding that 7-5 is one of the likely outcomes.
I can tell you right now that Sunday night game between LSU and Florida State and New Orleans is going to be the game that I overreact to the most. No matter what the result is, I am going to take it way too seriously.
Well, because like Florida State's offensive line is not going to have to face. Florida State does not have Pitt this year, correct?
No, but they have Miami.
They have Miami and Clemson. Yeah, I think it's going to be trouble for Jordan Travis.
I bet this pretty hard when it came out at over 6. I just texted that the ticket to the group chat there. 7's a tougher number for me. This is really sort of push range. I don't have a super strong feeling on this. I think LSU does have, you could argue they have the best receiving core in the SEC. Defensive line wise, I think they have just total studs there up front who, could all be like top 100 NFL pick type guys if they click. But like the secondary, that's a lot of transfers to be counting on. Joe Fucha, Converse, like guys who have played ball in the SEC, but it's still a lot of transfers to be counting on. Offensive line scares me a lot for them. They are starting a true freshman left tackle named Will Campbell, who had an excellent spring for them, but also a kid that it's hard for me to shake. Like Walter Nolan beat him badly at the Future 50 event last July that I was at. Walter Nolan, like speed and power off the edge. Nolan's like this 340-pound kid who signed with A&M, like number one overall player in the country, arguably. That's a lot to be handling in the opening game. FSU has some defensive linemen who are going to be playing in the NFL that he's going to have to block in that opener. And he'll probably place a couple more NFL guys in the SEC, I would have to imagine. So I think this is a good number. This team's a major wild card. I think it could be Brennan being the quarterback, but I don't know yet, man.
You have no idea. Like Brian Kelly is the modern day Steve Spurrier when it comes to the quarterbacks. Like if he's got more than one option, he's probably going to use them all at some point. He's going to drive you insane as for when he's using them and when he's not. But this is a team like I could see LSU finishing second in the West. I could see LSU finishing last place in the West. I just don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah, Brian Kelly just last season. This isn't even like we don't even have to go back to Pike and
Caleros.
Yeah, we don't even have to go back to like Pike and Caleros. We don't even have to go back to Tommy Reese.
That's
like,
a deep cut.
Like we don't even have to go back all the way. We only need to go back to last season when he would do Jack Cohn for a little bit, then we get Tyler Buckner for a little bit, and just continue just move these guys in and out. Miles Brennan will be the starter, then Jane Daniels will come in after a couple series, then Miles Brennan will be back in the game. I'm 100% anticipating that as well, which might. Hey, maybe it works. Maybe it's going to frustrate the hell out of LSU fans.
I mean, he's gone from Grand Valley State to Cincinnati to Notre Dame and LSU, so all it frustrates the hell out of me. It's clearly worked for him.
Clearly.